Hello! Did you just build ianxofour's concrete factory in your Paper Minecraft world, only to find out that it doesn't work? Well, I have a simple solution for you. If you just want the fix, you can go ahead and skip forward in the video to this timestamp. But if you want to understand a little more about why this is happening and what's different about Paper Minecraft compared to vanilla, go ahead and keep on watching. I have a very simple explanation, and it's a super simple fix. Alright, let's get started. So first, let's take a look, tick by tick, at the exact difference between vanilla and Paper Minecraft. Both farms start up the exact same way, with the farm startup taking exactly 22 ticks. Then, on tick 23, we get the first block entering the end. This breaks the block in front of each observer, and on tick 27, we see our first difference, with the water seeming to flow one tick earlier. On tick 28, Paper Minecraft has dispensed the water into the chest. Then, on tick 29, vanilla dispenses the water into the chest. Let's go ahead and take a look on the redstone side to see what's happening. So again, on tick 23, we get the block coming into the end. However, on tick 24, Paper seems to be processing our redstone update. Then, on tick 25, vanilla follows and triggers its redstone. Flipping around to the other side, we will see again, Paper dispenses the water on 28, and vanilla dispenses the water on tick 29. Alright, let's hop over to my other world, and I'll show you this a little deeper. Okay, so now that I've kind of shown you it visually, let's go a little deeper and explain why this is happening. So on tick 23, that's when we get our first block coming in to the end. And on the top here we have vanilla, and on the bottom here I've tried to map out how it works in Paper. So in vanilla there's actually a 1 tick delay before the block update gets processed. And so our observer gets triggered right here on tick number 25. However, in Paper, the block update, because of the way that Paper processes its scheduler in batches, just for efficiency, the block update actually gets performed on the exact same tick that the entity travels into the end. This is kind of what you would expect in vanilla, so it's a little odd that in vanilla, the block update is processed the game tick after, but it's this specific behavior that the concrete factory relies on. So in Paper, because we are doing the observer 1 game tick sooner, this is causing our dispenser to actually put out the water overlapping with one of the ticks where it's going to remove the blocks on the platform. So water updates are processed every 5 game ticks. So in the normal vanilla version, we dispense the water right here, and that means 5 game ticks later, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to have our next water update where the water will spread and flow. So this happens right after the 2 ticks where new entities enter the end and remove all the blocks on the end platform. However, in Paper, because this gets processed 1 tick earlier, we're actually overlapping our fluid update tick with one of these cycles where the blocks actually get removed from the end platform. This causes our water updates to never actually spread any further. So in vanilla here, we have this nice, 2 blocks enter, then we have a fluid update, 2 blocks enter, fluid update. But in Paper, that's actually getting blocked. So now that you can kind of see why it's not working, because everything is shifted 1 tick sooner, let's go ahead and go through the fix. Okay, so in order to fix this issue, what we need to do is shift this dispenser tick 1 back so that our water update cycle happens offset at the same offset right here. So in order to do that, we're actually going to need to shift it 6. So that's going to be 5 in order to get past or to the next water update cycle, and then a 6th game tick in order to properly align it, the same as Ian's vanilla version. So if I zoom out here, what we've kind of done is I've gone ahead and added a repeater, and in the end it's just on 3 game ticks, but I've represented it here by a single redstone tick on each of these. So we pause for 3 game ticks. We then have 3 redstone ticks. Then we have 1 pause, the same as kind of up here, before we then have our water dispensed. And when the water gets dispensed, that's when we actually create that 5 game tick water fluid update cycle. So now we have, because we dispensed it right after, because of our 6 game tick delay, we're now properly aligned with the vanilla version. So by adding that game tick delay, you're able to shift it over by 1, basically right here. So that's 5 ticks plus 1 additional 1 in order to do the shifting. And luckily this works out pretty well for us, because each repeater delay is 1 redstone tick or 2 game ticks of delay. So this means if we have a repeater on 3 redstone ticks of delay, we're going to get that behavior that we want right here. So yeah, that is why we are able to fix this version, and also exactly why in Paper it's broken. So let's hop into how to actually build and add these 3 redstone ticks of delay in order to get it properly aligned. To fix this farm for Paper Minecraft, first make sure you have performed the dry platform upgrade as shown in Ian's video. Then come here, remove these 2 blocks, remove the observer, and remove this redstone dust. Then place concrete in this pattern. Go ahead and put redstone dust along all of these blocks. We're going to replace the observer, this time 1 block higher. Go ahead and place a block to hold our repeater on top of there. And then finally, place a repeater on 3 ticks. If you still want the dry platform upgrade, you can then go ahead and place your button again on this block. And that should be everything that's needed. If you're having issues while building your farm with breaking the end portal blocks, or the concrete duper seems to be sending the blocks through to the end and not duplicating them, you're going to need to change a couple settings inside of your Paper Minecraft config. First, go ahead and open up the Paper Minecraft folder, then select into the config folder and open the Paper Global YAML file. In this file, you're going to want to scroll all the way to the bottom, and down here we're going to need to change a few settings. To build it and break the end portal blocks, you will need to set Allow Headless Pistons to True and Allow Permanent Block Break Exploits to True. In order to allow the duplication of the concrete blocks and gravity blocks, you will need to set Allow Unsafe End Portal Teleportation to True as well. Once you have those set and your fix in place, go ahead and turn on the farm and you should see it start working. If you're running into any issues still, make sure that you follow the tutorial properly. But that should be all. Enjoy your infinite concrete, and we'll see you next time. Bye!